Hey everyone, welcome to Design by Melody. So, today we were going to do a project and make a recipe binder. I like to print recipes from Pinterest after I've tried them, and I only print the ones that we as a family really enjoy. But I don't like to go ahead and take all these recipes and write them into my recipe book because that just takes a lot of work. And I like to kind of reserve my recipe book for like family recipes. So I have a whole bunch of these recipes just kind of floating around in these page protectors, and I don't have a place to put them because I don't have a binder. But I had one binder, but it's too short. My page protectors stick out the end, and after I add dividers, it's going to stick out even more. So I'm on the hunt for a really cute binder that's not like $10. I'm looking more for like a $2 to $4 binder. I'm just apparently being cheap, but I will wait and find one. So this is actually going to set aside for right now. It is not going to be our craft project for today. Today we are going to do a traveler's notebook page. So I have my stash kit that I'm working with here, and we have one more page to do. I thought I had another one printed, but I don't have it printed yet. So we are going to do another page in the Traveler's Notebook. This is what it looks like so far. This is my Around Town Traveler's Notebook. It's getting quite, not really fat, I should say. Not really bad. Let's just flip through here and see what we have. So we have a page about Target. We have a page about going to see the Hurricanes practice. Page about going to the museum. This is my last one I think I did. Page about 4th of July. Page about Gigi's Cupcakes. Page about going to the Durham Bulls baseball stadium. Page about the Christmas parade. This may have been my last one. A page about Parks and Rec, about going to all the different Raleigh parks. And then this one is a similar page to that because this is, part of Raleigh Park and Recs. Actually, I think I'm going to use this one because it's a brighter photo. It's a page about Raleigh Parks and Recs, but I'm really going to focus on more so about going outside and doing things together. So, let's see. I have a couple pages in here. I made this Traveler's Notebook too thick, and it's starting to kind of pull at the seams a little bit. So we're going to try to keep this as flat as possible. Okay, so we have this one, which I don't really like because this is not it's not a brick. Brick has nothing to do with this. This is more natural space. I feel like that's a little girly. This is them outside playing football. Let's just do this page. Okay, so we are going to put this here. As you can see, it's sticking up quite a bit as I'm trying to work on this. So I'm going to put you guys on fast forward as we do this, but this is what this page is about. All right, guys, thank you. Okay, so this layout ended up being a fairly quick layout, and one of the very first things I'm going to do, which actually probably takes the bulk of the time in completing this layout, is to take out all of the die cuts from the kit that I have. If you watched my stash kit unboxing, if you didn't, I will link it below, but my stash kit has a ton of die cuts in it, and the very last layout that I did with this kit, well actually I guess it's really kind of the only one I've done with this kit so far, I didn't really use any of the die cuts. So the very first thing I did here was go through all of the die cuts and pull out any that I could potentially use. And I have quite a stack of die cuts here, as you can see. I kind of skipped that process for you because it took me about 10 minutes, which was probably a third of the time it actually took me to complete this layout. So I pulled out a whole bunch of different options. I'm kind of going in the orangey red category plus some pink and then the navy with a few pops of other blues. So the very, very first thing I'm doing, because I didn't exactly know where to start, was to go ahead and do my journaling. I'm just going to do a little bit of journaling. Basically, I'm saying that Ernest and Kaylin take any opportunity possible to either play football or basketball, and today was no exception as far as these pictures. We were out at a nature preserve walking around, and they had taken the football out there with us, so the entire time we're walking around and kind of exploring the grounds, they're throwing a football back and forth. So it's kind of funny because we came here just to enjoy a walk and kind of enjoy the weather because it was one of those oddly beautiful days in the winter time. And they, of course, are throwing the football back and forth. So I'm documenting that in the longer journaling, and then in that little short like half of a label that you just saw me put on the traveler's notebook itself. It just says that we're walking at a nature preserve. And the photos are, the photo on the right with the sky part is a picture of Ernest and Kaylin throwing the football. And you really can't see their faces or anything. It's the back of Ernest, and he's the one closest to the camera. And then Kaylin's like further down the field, and he is the one catching the ball, and it's just a picture of them kind of in the middle of throwing the football back and forth. And then the other photo, which is kind of odd looking, I understand, from this point of view, is a picture of the map of the nature preserve. So I try to snap pictures of either the sign going into the places that we go, or maps, or take, you know, different pieces from the little welcome stands or whatnot, just to kind of document about them. So I went ahead and matted those photos just on a little bit of white cardstock, just to kind of give them some separation from the pattern paper that they are going on. And then I'm switching the way I had them laid out. I'm actually going to put the picture of the boys playing football on the left, and then the picture of the map on the right. And then I'm adding the journaling kind of that correspond with each of those photos right underneath them. Now, this is pretty much all I knew that I wanted to do, other than adding a bunch of die cuts. So now I'm just going to kind of play with the die cuts back and forth and figure out exactly what I want to do. I'm really doing a lot of layering with these die cuts. I'm not adding any pattern paper because I already have pattern paper as my background on this traveler's notebook, and this is a traveler's notebook that I made, by the way. So if you don't know how to make your traveler's notebooks, or just don't want to take the time to make them, I do offer traveler's notebooks in my Etsy shop, and I will link those below just in case you do want to check those out. But I really like to use pattern paper traveler's notebooks, and that's one reason why I like to make my own, because I can really customize them exactly how I want. Now, I had no idea that I was going to use this particular traveler's notebook in the way that I have. I just happened to make it, and I picked out a bunch of different papers I liked and went with it. There's no theme to this particular one as far as pattern papers. I have made a theme as far as what's inside the traveler's notebook, but when I was assembling it and making the traveler's notebook itself, I wasn't thinking about, oh, well, I'll use this paper for this, or this paper goes with this. No, I just picked out a bunch of really pretty, bright, colorful papers that I liked, and then I went with it. So back to the layout itself, I'm not adding any pattern papers at all. I'm just literally going like die cut crazy. I'm going to use this one die cut that I don't think I ever thought I would ever use, and that's the little squirrel one. Like, truly, I don't know why. I don't know when I thought I would ever use that. I really like it, but I don't really scrapbook about squirrels ever. I don't think I ever have. I think it's cute. I just think it's also really funny. It's like one of those super random die cuts that you're like, huh? Like, what? How am I going to use this? So I'm going to put that on this particular layout because we are talking about being outside at a nature preserve. And then I'm just kind of layering a bunch of different die cuts. I really like this cold drinks, like retro kind of sign that says 10 cent. It has nothing to do with this layout, but I just think it's cool. I'm also going to do a little like film slide underneath that. I've got a ticket under the photo at the top. I'm also going to layer a couple of these word tiles and make them the big memories together is going to be my title, but I'm also going to use the noted one and kind of layer it behind my photo. I'm using one of these Doodlebug Designs Beetle Black mini paper clips. I've had these for a while and I absolutely love them. I don't know if I have any more actually. The last two I had may have been in this kit, and I may not have even realized that they were in this kit. Just happened to be there whenever I shared the kit the stash kit share video that I shared with you a couple days ago. I hope you guys are enjoying this February video day that I'm doing. I'm actually really enjoying it. It took me a little bit to kind of get into it because I was really scared I would not have enough content to share with you guys, but it's actually been kind of fun. It's been challenging me to try a couple different things and just do a couple different things in my craft room or my craft studio, and that has been one of my goals for this year, is to do something creative every single day. So this really just kind of fits right in line with that. I'm just filming it all now instead of not filming all of it. Excuse me. Excuse me, sorry about that. So I'm just kind of going crazy with my die cuts here, figuring out exactly what I want to do, but also really trying to pay attention to the balance of things. I don't want to make it too crazy and too just haphazard looking. I do want to have a little bit of like rhyme or reason to it, so I'm trying to just be aware of what I am putting on here. I am going to use that, I guess it's a hexagon wood veneer there that you see me putting down. I am going to include that, and then I have that beetle black paper clip, but then other than that, everything on here is just die cuts. And then I did use, of course, some white cardstock behind my photos. Actually, I used some scrap cards where I had cut some cards before, so that's really just scrap cards, like Project Life cards, or I guess they were the Studio Calico 4x6 cards. I had some that just had some white space at the bottom, and I had cut it off or something. So I just use some of that white here on the back of these photos just to create a white border. Just working around with the placement of things. I've got basically the right side of this layout is pretty much adhered down. Just putting down my title. That little strip of cameras up there just says click, click, click. And I thought it was really kind of nice. It pulls in the yellow from the background. It pulls in kind of that reddish pink from the little squirrel, as well as the film strip slide that I'm going to put down here on the bottom left next to the cold drinks die cut. And then also it pulls in the navy from a couple of the different elements that are on this particular layout. So I'm just layering a few things here. It's really kind of fun when you just layer up die cuts. I don't actually do it often enough. I think it's beautiful when I see people do it. Sometimes when I do it though, I feel like it just looks like I piled things on top instead of, making it look nice. To me, it just seems like, okay, well, she couldn't like clean up, so they all just stuck there. Like, I don't know, that seems probably weird, but that's like how my brain works whenever I see my layouts the way that they are. I do like the layered look, but it has to be purposeful in the layering for me to be okay with it on my own layouts. And this one, it was definitely that way. I was really happy with how it looked. I like that the paper clip kind of looks like it's holding it all together, even though it's not. It just kind of looks that way. It just kind of adds a different aesthetic to it. I did add a little bit of washi tape on the back of that paper clip just to make sure it doesn't move around. And then I'm going to trim off the little excess of this ticket that I have, and then that's going to finish out this layout. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I have some still photos at the end, and as always, please let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. All right, I'll be back tomorrow with something else for you. Bye, guys.